This is the first time we've ever been outside, and it's kind of a bit scary, it's a bit different, because here I am. Holy shit! Like Cam Smith. Oh! That wasn't bad, come on! Now, in fairness, I don't believe what I'm after doing. Somebody go and get me! I've got this machine with us, so we're just going to walk and talk. Do you know what I mean? We're here in the Swinkelsche. It's nearly 7:10 in the morning. It looks beautiful. It's glorious. Thanks to Derek for letting us use the facility as well. But I suppose first things first, if I can do the, watch this, if you look at this. So what I've got is this new M7 from MotoCaddy, and it's a remote control little thing, so it's just tap 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 tap, and let's walk, come on. So this thing is brilliant. It's taken me a while to get used to it, but all you're doing is you've got this, you can make it go faster, you can stop it, you can make it go around, it can do whatever you want. So the beauty of it is that it's like having your own caddy. It's unbelievable, and you don't even have to look at the thing. You can make it go, whatever, you can do whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you're looking at a trolley, and it's not mad busy, the thing about it is that they're not crazy expensive. Do you know what I mean? And it's not crazy expensive, but you're hands off. There's no hands involved, so it's really, really good. So it's brilliant. Here's a guy, geez, this guy was out earlier. So I don't know, if you want something different and if you don't want to go crazy, these are €1,600. So it's not mental money. It's not a Ducat or a G-Star, which is like a couple of grand, which is like 3.5 grand or whatever. But if you want something that's really good, that you don't have to use your hands. There's no pushing, there's no pulling. It takes a while to get used to it, because really the thing about it is that you end up, sometimes for the first couple you end up looking at the trolley all the time. So then you miss the surroundings. But after a couple of times you get used to it, you kind of let it off. It's a bit like a dog on a leash. You kind of let it off, and then all of a sudden you have freedom. So it actually, golf doesn't take as much out of you as it normally does. So you can see here, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what's going to happen next. They're going to produce a drone or something that the thing flies around itself, and you just point it in the direction or whatever. Or they have a telelink, a Neuralink, something that all of a sudden you project where you want the trolley or the bag to be. But honestly, as a start for something, I've had no problems with it. I think the first generation of these, there was a problem with the batteries, and there was a problem with the link up, because Elon Musk decided to take over the whole factory where they produced MotoCaddy batteries. So the first generation of these, there was a problem with the very start, but it was a simple fix. So once it's been fixed, it's all good. It's all good. So maybe it's something for you. Do you know what I mean? Because all good trolleys now are around 12, do you know what I mean? €1,200 here anyway. So yeah. You might as well have a look what I have in the bag, right? So at the moment I've got 2 drives. So I brought a couple of things extra. I've got the Rogue ST Max driver, right? But also what's kind of cool is to show you is the bag. I've got a sun mountain bag. And you know what? It's different to most bags, because most bags go across. Like you start on one side and you go across. But the way I've worked this out is that what I have is I've all kind of the odd numbers on one side of the bag and all the even numbers on the other side of the bag, and I've got my driver and my woods down the middle. So instead of going kind of across like this and kind of an S or a cross, now it's linear. And you know what? It works really, really well. The bag is completely waterproof. It's really functional. I'm not so, like, the whole thing about bags is that you want something that works. Like, you don't have to spend 50 minutes talking about a bag and about zips, for God's sake. It works, it's very functional, it's very good. It's shit expensive though, that's the only problem. It is expensive, but the beauty of Sun Mountain is, and I can do this while we're talking, because I've got this trolley, I think the colours are amazing, is that you've got everything. You've got really good water bottle where you can hold a couple of bottles of water. It's handy with this thing on the outside because a lot of the time I just put the Kiker, the rangefinder, in this. It's just easy to use, and because the clubs are kind of laid out like this, they're not laid out properly, as of course, because I'm a messy divil, is that it works very well, and it is completely waterproof, and they last forever, because I think I said this a few times. I have a guy who works in the shop, Jules. He's a young guy. He carries his bag everywhere, but he's got one of these things for 5 years and it's perfect. And he's playing golf 3 or 4 times a week. So that in itself is the reason why you could maybe be interested in, basically in investing in it's over 400 in a €400 bag, which is a lot of money, but when it's completely waterproof, all the kind of waterproof bags are between $350 anyway, a lot of them. And this is the first time that I'm ever gonna try something out as it is, kind of messing around. So I've got this driver, I'm testing out 2 drivers, so I'm gonna be hitting 2 anyway. This could be a disaster, but you know what? I couldn't really care less if we're just here. So this is the Roque ST Max 10.5 degree with my favorite shaft at the moment. So I wonder, will the luck be with me that I can hit a ball? Holy shit, holy shit. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad for the first one. Now what I'm going to do, because I know that I have the shaft that I like, I have this new Mizuno driver, the ST, and I'm going to use the same ball, and what I'm going to do is I have the same shaft in this because I'm testing both of them. And this is really interesting because now we can see if they how they line up together. So we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. By the way, I do like them both. I really do like them both. So now this one is here. Mwah. There was a bit of a fade on it. So let's have a look. There's a bit more of a, I gotta say, I do like the Mizuno. I really do, and it kind of goes. It's going to be interesting to see how it is when we get down there. But what I do like though, the sound of the Callaway is lovely. It's a nice soft feel. It's kind of a comfort. It's like a little hug. So it feels like when you hit the ball. Walking and talking, come on. Come with me and I'll show you. Come with us to the far side. So right then, so we're up the 10th, which is kind of one of my favorite holes. It's kind of a love-hate relationship, but it's quite interesting because we've got 2 balls here. It's not that I hit the ball a mile either, and it's not about that. But when I hit with a little fade, I hit the Mizuno with a little fade, and I hit the Rogue better, and there is a difference. The beauty of it is that with the Rogue feels lovely, but the beauty of the Mizuno is the off hits are different. They're actually kind of, you think, oh God, I hit that shit, oh that's not really good, but the reality is something different. It wasn't so bad. So Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you go, I want to see where, if I hit the Callaway, if I hit the Rogue bad, and I hit the Mizuno well, is there going to be that big of a difference, do you know? So here we are, and now I want to do something else. I'm just laying up. This is not about hitting the ball in the green, but I just want to see where both these land. So I got a 7-iron from, I've got a 6-iron. I'm after forgetting me 7-iron. I don't know what's after happening. So I've got the Mizuno Pros I have in the bag at the moment, but I'm I'm in a kind of a conundrum as well, because my favorite clubs at the moment are the Mizuno Pros and also the Roque ST Pro, which is brilliant. So I bought both of them today to see how they get on, but I don't know, for some reason I'm after losing the 7-iron because I'm a donkey. So anyway, we're going to see how this goes. So I'm just going to hit one. Now that is nailed. Wow. Wow. Holy shit. That was very good, Mike. We'll have to, that was really good. So I'm going to hit this again. So this is the 7-iron with my, so this could be interesting to see now. Wow. That went really well. Dun 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 dun. There's a pretty big difference between them. I absolutely nailed that 6-iron. It's really nice. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting when I came back out, I was expecting because I've played with the Mizunos for a while now. I was expecting, and I played with the Mizuno, with the Rogue Pros earlier in the year. I was expecting there to be kind of I was going to hit the Pros and that they were going to be way better again, but they're not. It's great. It's good. It's very good. So here we are, folks. We're still in the 10th. I'm after hitting the 2 balls. The 6-iron, I hit a 6-iron and a 7-iron. The 7-iron went a bit further, but the 6-iron was really good, and it was better. So we're 106 meters from the flag. Okay, and the beauty of this is that I'm gonna do 2 things, right? I've got a 50 degree and I've got a pitch and wedge. And I'm gonna do so what we're gonna do, one is a Chrome Soft X2 and one is a 3. And it's been really important for my game at the moment is that what I've done is this is a 50 degree. If I nail this, all right, if all the stars align and the wind is slightly behind and all this stuff, and maybe I can hit this around that distance. Do you know what I mean? But I've also got a pitch and wedge in the back, so I'm going to hit both. So here's and I hope I nail this now. And in fairness, I did. I did nail it. I did. I absolutely smoked that, which is great. And that's what we're here for. But no, that was good. I tell you, I must play early morning golf with somebody filming me more often, because that is absolutely nailed. That was good. But now this is different, right? Because that's going to be interesting. Because I didn't really hit this that well. But it's going to be interesting to see what the result is. So one was smoked and the other one was hit a little bit thin, but I have a funny feeling they're both going to be kind of similar. So that means do you know what? Maybe it's better to take a pitching wedge because you've got more room for error. I know for a fact with this green, because it's elevated, if I didn't nail that 50 degree, it was going to be short. It was going to be end up where that 6-iron is at the moment. So kind of golf isn't really about how good your good shots are. Golf is about how good your bad shots are. And the trolley keeps going, eh? It's brilliant. And I'm gonna call the trolley Shep, okay? We're gonna christen the trolley. Shep, come back. And look, it even comes back to you. Shep, go to the left. And what it can do is when you hit a really good shot, look, you can do donuts. It's a bit like Wall-E. But then what's also interesting, this is the 7-iron, this is the 6-iron. I didn't really hit the 7-iron that well. And it's nearly the same distance as the 7-iron. We're gonna do this a bit more. I'm gonna set up a club that's exactly with my specs, so it's a little bit longer, it's a thicker grip. And we're gonna keep doing this because I think over the next while, it's gonna become a little bit more interesting. This, so it was 106 meters. Yeah, this, I nailed this one. This was the wedge. This was the 50 degree, and it's here, and that's the pitching wedge. And I hit the pitching wedge. Oh Christ, which one did I hit first, Mike? We can check it back. We can have a look back and we're going to double check this. But I think this is the wedge and I think this is the pitching wedge because there wasn't as much spin on it. Now yes it is. This is the first one and that was the second one. 1 second, because repairing pitch marks is a huge, huge thing. And it's really, 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 I say really important because so many people don't. And it's amazing. You can go on any golf course and they're gonna, it's terrible. You can see ones that need to be fixed. Do you know? And everyone always says, it's the green fears, it's the green fears. No, it's not. Don't be silly. But if you get a chance, repair a few. It's good. It makes you feel better. Wow, though. This is interesting because that, I didn't realize that the pin was so far back, but on this hole, an uphill putt, that's cool. Shit, we gotta have a putt. Why not? So this is what we can do. So now, you're going to be the first people to see my shitty putting stroke. Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to be like Cam Smith. Oh! The only problem is, folks, and that is a bit of a problem here at the moment, is that the greens are a bit bobbly. The greens are a bit bobbly. They look great, but they need a cut. But then again, the weather has been unbelievable. It's been like 40 degrees here yesterday. It's nuts. So we're lucky today, Mike, I tell you, because last night I was in bed and I was sweltering. And what's also brilliant about this trolley is, look, come on, Shep. Come on, boy. Look at this. So you just have to get used to it. And easy. Easy. It's cool. It's cool. Actually, what we're going to do now, so now we're going to have, there's a guy coming up the 13th in the Swinkelsche. Folks, if you're ever in Holland, if you ever get a chance, come and play the Swinkelsche. It's an inland links course, and especially if you're here in the winter, because honestly, it's probably one of the best winter courses I've ever played. It's like an inland links, so it's never The greens are open all year round, and in the winter it actually plays as good, I think, as in the summer. Okay, but it's an amazing course. Sprinklers are on, guys are out. If you move around, do a panorama, Mike. You see the sprinklers are on, there's guys working on the course. It's beautiful. This hero, there's a hero in front of us. I swear to God, he's playing speed golf. He's flying, so he is. I think he's going for a world record in how to play 9. Go on, son. Go on, go on, go on. He's not bad. Actually, the 13th, that's the 13th. I swear to God, but for me, the back 9 in the Swinkelsche is unbelievable. It just makes me, and especially on the 13th, whenever I stand, it's an elevated green, whenever I'm on the 13th, it's like I'm at home. I feel like I'm back in Ireland. It's amazing. But this fella's flying. We're going to slot in behind him then. And sure, by the time we're finished the 15th, he'll be on the 17th, I'd say, because he's absolutely motoring. But he's doing well. He was close. He was in gimme range. He was doing it about 4 foot. He was in gimme range when you're on your own is an awful lot different to gimme range when you're with friends. I'm going to put 4 dots on my ball. Good to mark your ball. So that's 4 dots. And this is 2, and I'm going to put 2 dots on this. So Mike, which one do so I hit the 2 first, and I hit the 3 second. That makes sense, doesn't it? And I never make sense. So anyway, so now we're going to hit. So I'm going to hit the Mizuno, or as people say here, they say Mizuno with a T, Mizuno. So which is a bit silly, but so Mizuno. So now I'm just going to hit one, and we're going to see how this one goes. So I got the same ball, and we're going to see if this works. Get here, turn, and hit. Wow. Now that was nailed. This is going to be good. Let's hope I can do the other one. That was nailed. That was straight, Mike, as well. Holy God. I suppose maybe we're going to have to, we're not going to use a lot of bad language, but I'd be a bit crazy if I said I didn't use an odd expletive while playing golf. So there could be the odd variation. There could be an odd variation on the word excrement shouted at different times, but that was really good. So this is the second ball. Let's see if this one works. My God, I should have a camera on me all the time. I normally don't hit the ball this well. So we're here. So they're 2 crackers. They're 2 crackers of drives, actually. I'm really happy. So we should get a good idea of how they've done, which is kind of good. Plus, I'm going to send Shep off to the wild blue yonder, and away we go. It's kind of nice. God, folks, I tell you one thing about this trolley. It just makes it easier because you're walking. It's like having your own caddy. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever played with a caddy. If you've ever had a chance to get a caddy, it is amazing because you're walking, your hands free. You're not doing anything, and this is a lot cheaper than hiring a caddy every day, I can tell you. And with the whole system now with range finders, with GPS, you've got all the information that you need, and it just makes golf easier, which is kind of cool. I'm interested to see how this works out, actually. Come on. This is very interesting, right? I nailed both of those drives. And there is, if you look here, I'm going to tell you how much there is between them. And this is where it's good with the trolley, is I nailed both of them. 1, 2. I think I might have hit the Mizuno 3 meters further. But if I'm brutally honest, this is that is amazing. They were both hit really well, and yeah. So now we're on a par 5. Yeah, I can't make it home from here, but anyway, I want to test out something. So I'm going to hit the two. I'm going to hit the 2 irons again, to see. It's actually raining, and it's beautiful. It's actually gorgeous. So now I'm going to hit the number 2. I'm going to hit with the 7 iron from the Pro. So this is an 85 gram stiff. So what's nice in this is that there's a tensai 85 gram stiff. Oh Christ, we're going to be editing that one out. I'm going to be hitting another one. Christ, that was nothing. That was shit as well. So now all of a sudden the chickens come home to roost. I'm gonna, Jesus. Now Mike. So hopefully, so now I'm gonna hit, yes, I know which one this is. Wow. That's okay. Talk about a shower. Woo! And this is the other one. So they were both hit pretty well. I wasn't expecting this, but it's a beautiful shower. It's a good thing I have a waterproof bag. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to close this up. I'm not even going to cover. This is going to be over in a minute, so I'm not really worried. But this is class. Christ, this is going to be fun. So now, so are we up? Are we on? So that's interesting. So I hit I've got the 7 iron from the Mizuno. It's got a 95 gram regular recoil shaft, and I've got the 6 iron from the Mizuno with a 95 gram regular recoil shaft, and I have the 7 iron from Callaway with an 85 gram stiff shaft. The difference in the feel of both of them is huge, really, but I have to say, those last 2 that I hit them with the same ball, with a Srixon ball, because the first 2 I made a mess of, right? But I've hit them both, and there's a club in the difference, which is really interesting, because I thought I was going to hit I really thought I was going to hit the Callaways further, do you know? Which is good, So now I'm beginning to like what the whole object of this exercise is. I'm actually beginning to like my Mizunos a bit more than what I did even before I came out here this morning. So that's good. So now we're in this. So here we go, folks, right? So I don't know how far out we are, but we're gonna have a look at this again. So because a lot of the time, for the beauty of all this for us normal golfers, so we're on the 15th. This is a great green as well. So here we go. So we're 75 meters out. So we're going to do 2 things. This would normally be for me. God, I hate having anything in my pockets. So we're going to hit 2 balls. One is going to, and we're going to see how it works. One, it's going to be now. This is, for me, a nice little lob wedge. So tiny downhill lie. So I'm here. The thing what I try to do, you see people, you shouldn't have a wider stance with your wedges. Try and keep your stance a little bit closer together, because it's more arms and less. So it's more arms. This is the Callaway 3. Look at that. Ooh, tasty. In fact, if I hit it like that, to be honest, this is a lob wedge shot for me. This is 75 meters, which in yards about 80 yards. So yeah, I'm gonna hit I don't want to, for me, I would never hit a sand wedge for this shot, because it's, for me, it'd just be a little bit too far, do you know? But I'm gonna hit one. This is just for fun. So, see, it just, no. You gotta hit the shot that's in front of you, folks. So if you have a yardage, and you know, for me, for my lob wedge, you're looking at around, I think I can hit anywhere between kind of 70 and 80, 85. Once it goes over 80 now, I'm starting to push. So what I'd rather is kind of up to 80, it's always a lob wedge. And after that, then maybe you start to bring in a sand wedge. But from 74, 75 meters, a sand wedge for me won't work. So find your yardages. Your yardages are really, really important. And a piece of advice, it doesn't matter one bit what anybody else hits. It's your yardages, not anybody else's, yeah? This just shows you the difference of having a yardage that you're comfortable with and maybe trying something else. Like that that was really good, for God's sake. I could have been here for 6 months trying to get that close. But that's pretty cool. That's nearly, it's not cool, it's daddy cool. I tell you what, if I had this kind of a tap in for birdie every day, I would be very, 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 very happy. You don't see that often, especially with me. But like, this was kind of the next shot of where you want to be. So it's important. It's important, if you learn anything from any of this, play your own game. That's what it's about. Play your own game. It doesn't matter. You'll always meet guys who kind of, what are you hitting? What am I hitting? It's none of your bloody business. But if you can get it close to the hole and you're confident, find your own yardages. Because if you do, it makes a big difference. But that was quite nice. Nice drive, 7-iron, wedge, tap in bird. Come on. I got 2 balls, right? I love I've been playing the Callaway Chrome Soft X for donkeys. I love the ball. And then I've got another ball, which is the new Srixon diamond ball, which is the ball that Srixon designed for Brooks Koepka. So I'm going to hit 2 drives, one with the Srixon and one with the Callaway, and see how we get on. This is the 15th. So the beauty with this is you need a good slap here. Yeah, as a fella said, you need to give it a good dig, because if you don't, there's not out of bounds, but there's red stakes and water all along. There's white stakes on the left, but you've to kind of hit it about 210, 220 to get it over the shite, basically. So first things first, we're going to go Srixon, and we're going to go Srixon and Mizuno, and we're going to go Callaway and Callaway. So this is good. But what's kind of really cool about this is that these both have the same shaft. And this is something else, folks, and I've said this before. This is, my swing speed is, yeah, around 95, something like that. But this is a 40 gram regular shaft, so it's a light shaft. And a lot of people are playing with shafts that are way too stiff for themselves. So now there's a bit of wind in here. So let's just see if we can, we're going to hit it towards that bunker. and I kind of put it out. As I can curse in many languages, in German that is Scheiße. Now, I want to get me, so now we're going for Callaway. So now we're going Callaway. Ah, when you hit the Mizuno well, I have to say, it goes extremely well. But this feels nice as well. So now, let's see if we can. So, I'm here, I open up, so I'm trying to... Wow. Now, is that big enough? Yes, it is. That's what you call a tiger line, folks. An extreme tiger line. But the result is better. I'm going to hit one more with the Mizuno because I just want to see where it goes if I hit it decent. So now we're going, yeah, we're going to go Mizuno Srixon again and see if we hit this well, just to see something. Like, as we've seen from all this, right, is that there's not a massive difference. There's not a massive difference. That was hit better. But again, it's a bit of a slice. Scheiße. It's a bit of a slice, but it was hit well. Really, I think with both of these drivers, it's all about, there's a couple of things as well. And do you see these things? These make a massive difference. If you come down on the ball, so if you're teeing the ball and if you come down on the ball, if you go in, if you get on a track, man, your attack angle with your driver is negative. Just until you get, because it's supposed to be positive, if you can get it positive. But if it is minus, do me a favor, tee the ball down. So we've got all these castle tees, and there's a white one, which is a lower one for a driver. There's a pink one, which is what most people use, and there's an orange one. My attack angle is normally 3, 4, 5 degrees up, right? Which is kind of what you want to do with a driver. But if your attack angle, find out what it is. If it's minus, use a white tee. Just trust me, go out and try it, because I've done it a lot with people in the shop when people are testing drivers, and the results are pretty unbelievable, in fact. So tees are very important. Hitting a ball is actually even more important when you can. Right then. So it's 137 meters. I'm in meters, so it's 150 yards, something like that. So normally, yeah. So because I'm a donkey, because I don't know what I'm after doing with my 7-iron, it's probably in the car. So we're going to do two things. I'm going to hit a full 7 and see where this goes, just for a bit of fun. And this is just for a bit of crack. And see what we can do. Wow. Ooh, lordy. Okay. That was interesting, because that was 147 meters, and I'm after putting it out the back of the green. Something more. But the wind is a bit behind us. So now I'm going to go for something else, and I'm going to see how I get on with this. I can't believe I put that out the back. Muscles, I tell you, muscles. Not bad for a 55-year-old. So now, no, we let it that one, and we'll do this one. Do you know what though? I don't believe it. Would you believe that's on the green, I think? Now, don't try and kill it. I'm gonna hit one more, Mike. Because bastard. That's the beauty of this, huh? 15 balls later. So now I gotta get it right, because would you believe the one that I hit, the first ball I hit with that 7-iron was absolutely beautiful. Come on, don't make it so difficult. One more, last one. Jesus, we're going so well, Mike. That one's up the end. We can do bloopers with this as well. Now, come on, Mikey. There you go. That's what you just want. Now, that was hit. Yeah. Funny, huh? That's really interesting. Now, I've got to be honest, folks. It took more than 2 shots. When you go up, you'll see there's a heap of balls up there, but that's kind of the difference. So that's, yeah. The 8-iron, what did I say, 137? Yeah, it was 137 meters. I thought it was a little bit longer. So the 8-iron was the shot, but that was a full 8-iron, and that was hit. So that's nice. We did what, I tell you, probably more than anything this morning, what this has kind of shown me is, in reality, these Mizuno irons are really good. Because anybody who's been listening to anything that we do over the last couple of years will always kind of know that I'm a bit of a Callaway man, really, in fairness. So the truth, one, you can't, do you know what I mean? The truth is there to be seen, but that was nice. The 7-iron was a bit big, and the 8-iron was nailed on. But that's not bad, Jesus. As you can see, there's balls scattered all over the place here. We've been here for 4 hours. This is the sun going down, not the sun coming up. Somebody go get me. Right then, I'm gonna have to repair a load. That was nice. Geez, that 7-iron wasn't bad either. Come on, Shep. Go on, girl. Why do you always call everything a girl? Go on, Shep, girl. Why do we call cars girls? Do you know what I mean? Why do people who are reincarnated always come back as somebody famous? That's what I want to know. How comes they can't just come back as normal people? It's always somebody famous. So, you get a lot of people when they're in this situation, right? So around the green, we're about, what is it, maybe 10, 15 meters from the flag. This one's a bit bumpy. There's a big lump in the middle of it. And you get these heroes and they're all kind of going, now I'm just going to lob this up and I'm just going to kind of just, wait a second now. And maybe, now in fairness, I don't believe what I'm after doing. That's not bad, right? But the chances, so if we do that again, you see, that one falls short, right? But the best way to do this is to forget about lob wedges and throwing ball up in the air. What you want to do is get the ball on the ground, get the ball rolling, and not to get it in here, because you get a lot of people, and when they're chipping, they're getting the ball and the ball gets stuck. Sorry, gets stuck. It's better to lift it up a little bit and just get this part of the edge of the club. And watch this. Now this better work, or we could be here for all day, right? So I want on the back of my stance, I just want to rock. Look at that. Look at that. I wasn't even talking, I was just messing around. So I want the back of my stance, I want my weight forward, but when I have my weight forward, look, if you put this up, I'm going to show you something. If I put my weight forward, this is the most funniest thing you'll ever see, right? So I say to people, now I want the ball in the back of your stance and I want your weight forward, which means that my shoulders are down. And what do? They put the back, and then they're like this. So they're like contorted, because you're saying, but keep your weight forward. But they can't, because they're still trying to lift the ball. So when your weight goes forward, your shoulders go down. Because then, look at what happens then. Look, I'm here. This is a little pitching wedge. So I just rocked the shoulders. That was a shit one. But you know what? That was a bad one. And it was still as good as what I wasn't even thinking about that. I just slapped that. And it's still as good as a good chip. So now we're going to have a look. This time I'm going to try and concentrate. So I'm here, my hands are forward, light grip, weight forward. I'm just rocking the shoulders. And I just want to... Look at that. Look at that. Hey, you'd swear I was a golfer. But the key to all this, and this all comes from a fella in Ireland called Pat Geraghty, and it's brilliant. So the club isn't flat where it gets stuck. The club is up where it just goes. See, I can't get the club stuck. My weight's forward, so then when I rock the shoulders, it's just a put-in stroke. Try it out, but it does work. That's the beauty, it does work. So anyway, right, so here we go. So we played about 4 or 5 holes. First time we've ever done this. Good man, Mike. So it's been really, really interesting. It kind of gives you a good overall idea of what's going on and about our robotic trolley and all that stuff. But thanks to the Swinkelsche as well for letting us out here. We were just blessed with a beautiful morning. We even got a shower, which is amazing, and it's lovely and warm, but it kind of gives you, hopefully this is going to start to give you an idea about, it's just about golf, huh? Do you know what I mean? It's about how, I suppose, what I think about golf, of course, but do you know, we make it very complicated, and sometimes simple is the easiest way, you know what I mean? But it is the game of golf, it's not a game of fur. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think a lot of stuff has gone wrong, in that everybody's just become obsessed with distance, with length, how far. But there's an awful lot more to golf than that, you know what I mean? And this is the start. This is the start, and it's going to be very interesting to see where we end up. I came out here this morning, I was quite nervous. And but it's been great. It's been a great day. Thanks, folks.